Take out the papers and the trash. Or you don't get no spending cash. You don't scrub that kitchen floor. You ain't gonna rock and roll no more. Yakety yak, don't talk back. Oh, baby, we're back. Give Jake money. Are you fucking kidding me? This is exciting. It's really special. Yeah, and I might have offered rebuttal to me, but I just changed my mind. Yakety yak, don't you fucking talk back to me. Because I'm the supreme word, okay? Ever read the Bible? I'm the word is the law. There, okay. That's retarded. Anyways, recently, and speaking of retarded, I've been watching a lot of Howard Stern, and let me just tell you, that type of media, we need to bring it back. Okay? We need it back, and I'm gonna bring it back. And listen, I know the guy H3 kind of does like a Howard Stern-esque thing, but I want to bring Howard Stern back. Not really bringing like retarded people and do shit, but like he would. It was like variety show. Okay, listen. Here's what it was. Howard Stern took late night and made it actually fun, but then he became liberal and he sucks now. And no one really does anything like variety show. You know what I'm saying? Besides like America's Got Talent or something, which also used to be good, but now that also sucks. And I'm gonna bring it back. And I'm creating a show. Here, listen, one day, if this, I can make a little money off this, just enough to actually create something better than this. Because listen, I'll admit, this is pretty much dog shit. I'll keep doing this forever because it's just like what I just talk to this thing and I get to show off my prowess, all my skills. You know, I'm pretty quick with the mind. I'm really I'm a genius basically. Some people compare me to Albert Einstein. Um, but yeah, this is good. Okay, this is I'm not saying it's fucking anything, but I'm sure Van Gogh's worst painting is still worth more than you know anything else. You know, I bet it's still worth a lot of money, even though it's not his best. That's what this is. This is just not the best, but it's not the worst. It's effort. I'm putting a lot of effort into this. I'm spending time on this, but also um, some ways it's dog shit. There's great aspects of it. But anyways, what I would want to do is create a show similar to Howard Stern. Definitely not as weird. He was definitely a really creepy guy. Like you'd always like. I've been watching all these because like on YouTube you can find basically anything that's like not current. Like if it's not anywhere on any streaming service or anything, you can find it on YouTube or on like Reddit or something. And Howard Stern, you know, he would get hypnotists. They would play like games that they made up that were like funny. And it was just like creative. You know what was good about Howard Stern? It was just like it was one guy. I mean, not one guy. It was a team, but there was clearly creative freedom on the show to allow all the fucked up shit he was doing, which made it special. You know what I mean? That's what's good. Anything that's original and like there's like only creative people working on it. I mean, I'm not saying you only need creative people to do something, but like people who like most shows on television now have like a lot of involvement from like executive. They have like 10 executive producers and all this bullshit, and it's just like people who really. Oh, and also, yeah, that reminded me of something. But they have all because I'm listen. YouTube is great because YouTube is about to be the next TV. I mean, everything. There's a couple things I'll watch, but I would say, I mean, just me. I know a lot of people probably don't use YouTube as like their main source of media right now, but in 10 years it will be because this whole strike thing, this whole writer strike, it is literally just here to completely. I mean, Hollywood's destroyed. All right, we all know that. Hollywood's done. It is just completely over. There's really nothing good about Hollywood. And they basically are trying to make everyone who because Hollywood there's really only people who live there are fucking uh like original food restaurants that are a little weird and wacky, like they have like that, and then entertainment business, right? And in LA, if you own a business that isn't Target, like if you have a local business and it gets broken into, you cannot fight back anymore. You know what? It's so fucked up. People are so stupid right now. I'm going off in a lot of tangents, but if you live in a place and you think it's okay for people to break in and you can't retaliate, you know what you're saying? You know why they want that? And you know why uh that one guy went to jail, or like it's happened multiple times, but hear like a story of like a bodega getting fucking broken into and the guy defends his shop, and then he goes to jail, or he gets or he has like a lawsuit or something. They want that because then they'll get rid of every small business, and then you'll go to Target because you can steal from Target a million times and they'll still have millions of dollars. I mean, they don't really give a fuck if you steal. They'd rather you not, but eventually they're gonna make it so you can only shop there, and then they can put any restrictions they want on it, just like fucking Walgreens is doing with that fucking lock case shit in certain places. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, YouTube. Okay. Oh yeah, I'll get back to YouTube. God, I'm always everywhere, but it's fucking great shit. I'm telling you, what I'm saying is really important. You need to hear. And I'm not coming up with these ideas. Maybe I am, but these are just. I just think this is like the truth of the matter. And I see. Okay, the other thing was the entertainment business, and all these celebrities are like, "We'll stand with you. We won't do. You know, we're not going to act or do anything. We're not going to do any shows unless these lesser writers or lesser actors are getting paid. But you know what these fuckers are doing? They're every like Jimmy Kimmel and all these people are like, we won't do our shows because of the strike and we won't work. They all just started their own podcasts right now, and because a podcast is like whatever the I don't know what is it called, the Writers Guild, whatever the fucking thing is. Like part of the stipulation is like you can do podcasts, but you can't like talk, but you can't do any shows, media if you're part of the Screen Actors Guild or whatever. The SAG, that's what it is. So they're not and these people, like, who cares if any others of these lesser people start a podcast or do their own show on YouTube or whatever? I mean, unless they have been, but if they start now, I mean, it's just like they couldn't have the same immediate reach. So these old terrible people who no one even like, they had their chance, they did their shit, and now they're trying to they act like they're supporting these writers and stuff, but really they're just trying to get paid and still get paid while these people are out of jobs and losing their homes and shit. Listen, and I don't even really care that much about. I mean, I do in a sense because I respect media and stuff, but I think you're an idiot. Well, you're not an idiot. It's just times have changed, and either people notice it or don't. And you're not an idiot, but you put yourself in the trap by even, I guess it's not true because there was, I mean, before COVID, I would say television still dominated. And then once they all went to streaming, uh, it almost ruined television because I don't know. It just they ruined it. I don't know. And the cultures change, and television wants to be more like, they want to present a certain thing. And the good thing about YouTube is there is like it's just freedom of ideas, which is really good. People talk a lot of shit on YouTube, but at the end of the day, they allow more freedom of speech than any other uh, television network or anything like that. Besides the internet, because the internet you can do it, but it's mainstream. In terms of mainstream, has the biggest access to information, even if they like, because they try to hide shit, or they won't allow certain things. But at the end of the day, they're a giant company. They have a lot of probably big hands in there, and I think certain things are out of their hands. But whoever's doing it is doing a decent enough job. Like, you can still make fun of YouTube and still be on there, so it's not like they're terrible yet. I mean, obviously there could be a better alternative to YouTube, but as of right now, they're not bad, and they're about to take over in media, movies and TV. Like, YouTube needs to hurry up and fucking make a movies and TV section. I know they tried it with that YouTube Red thing, but I think you even had to pay for it. I didn't even know how that shit worked. They did try to make shows, but what they did was they made shows with like it was just like not real television. It was just like complete dog shit. What YouTube needs to allow is, I mean, they shouldn't even pay people to make these shows. They should just make something work out where if you do want to make a show on YouTube, you can like make out a deal with how the ads work and stuff and um, revenue. And then if because I don't know I really don't even know how YouTube works in making money. Like, if you make a video, do they get a percentage of the money, or is that all just based off ads? They only get money off ads. I mean, obviously they wouldn't get a percentage of your video. I mean, I guess, well, I don't know how it works. I really don't. But I'm sure you can work out a deal where YouTube could see the potential of like a true television show, because things like Mr. Beast exist, but and that's almost like a television show. It's almost like um, listen, in what it's almost like, what's the show? Fear Factor or something like, or like something like that. And there's other channels like that too, do similar things, but I kind of lost where I was going with that. But I mean, it does. Here's what that does. It shows the potential, and I was gonna say we're almost like in the reality TV stage of YouTube. Like, I mean, it's kind of been like that forever. Like, the only content you could get is reality television, but now with all these like famous podcasters using YouTube and um, I don't know, just a lot of animators use YouTube. I've actually seen shows on YouTube. I mean, they're not like huge, but I've heard about them, like these animated shows. I think that's all I really heard about. But it has potential and it's growing and it's moving towards that way. Because you know what? No one really, it's literally a free media platform. So no one really wants to, you know, and there's really no control over your content in terms of people saying like, you know, you can't put this joke in or something. I mean, they can take the video down, obviously, but overall, whatever you put out is 100% yours, and then they can decide if what you put out was bad. But at least you have a chance to put it out there, and you know, it's just it's evolving. It's gonna be a beautiful thing. Fuck everyone in Hollywood. Hollywood's dead. Stop. Honestly, just stop streaming shows. Just stop doing it. And they say keep streaming because you know why? Because they're making money. Listen, the only people getting fucked here are the regular people like you and me. The people you fucking love, all your favorite fucking actors, they're not getting fucked. They have millions of dollars and are invested in other. They have investments in all other sorts of things too. The acting's not their only thing. I'm sure there's a couple of actors that you would like that might be getting fucked, but let's be honest, they're not getting fucked. They're doing YouTube and all that other stuff where like on a site that's already, you know, like they're doing GQ interviews and all that bullshit. And who knows? I'm sure that helps them at least stay relevant in the time. And then eventually they're just gonna give up because they're just gonna hold out because now all these people are gonna make money from doing these podcasts and bullshit. I mean, I don't know. It's just sick. It's sick, and do not watch. Honestly, boycott every celebrity podcast. That's what I gotta say. Um, at least any like, because like any podcast that, you know, especially one that's starting now. But yeah, I'd boycott. The only podcasts I would watch are Joe Rogan because he actually has different people on there that have nothing to do with Hollywood or anything. Kill Tony, watch Kill Tony, great podcast, hilarious. And it's a great opportunity for people who have have never been seen before, have no way of getting out there and actually be seen on a huge platform. I guess you can watch America's Got Talent, but they post clips on YouTube, and it's a great show because the same thing. They give people opportunity, huge stage. Basically, only watch things that support. Here's what we've lost our way in. Like, you can like it, like they made. It's just sick what they've done to us. Is this? No, I hope this is on. It's sick. It's sick. Really, it's disturbing how much they've manipulated us to be okay with slavery and stuff like that. And I'm not saying modern slavery, but if you have an iPhone, that you know that the conditions to make that the thing. I mean, I'm really filming on iPhone. The conditions, and I wouldn't. I'd probably buy the next iPhone 2, even though I know that, and that's because we're so fucked up. I mean, I won't buy it. I won't buy another iPhone ever again. I'll just keep the one I have. I'm not upgrading shit Except I think Apple does do that thing where they make like your phone eventually stop working after a certain point, so you have to upgrade. Um, but anyways, what was I gonna say? Yeah, we just listen. It's so simple how to like the world's only corrupt because we're fucking retards. It's not because there's really any. They can't really do anything to us. And I'm saying they. I mean, like just anyone who's profited off of people because they were able to like make a brand and make you think this brand was one thing and then actually do terrible shit. People like that. That's who I'm talking about when I say they. People who like every politician. Isn't it fucked up that politicians are millionaires? Shouldn't they be? I don't know. I mean, not the poorest. They shouldn't be poor, but they definitely shouldn't be. I mean, it's literally retarded. I mean, no, it is retarded. I'm using the word right. You know why they want to get rid of the word retarded? Because that's what they are. They're the real retards. The fucking people with learning disabilities aren't retarded. They are people with learning disabilities. That's what I would call them. Retarded people are anyone who steals money. They're retarded. If you steal money from someone, that's how I'm defining. That's my new definition for retard. It's if you fucking use your power and fucking lie to people and then take their money and become millionaires while like no, it's just so fucked up. The only person who's allowed to be a millionaire is Trump and Vivek because at least you know how they made their money. All these other people, how does I don't know. I don't know how they're this how these people make this much money and they're just fucked up people, man. It's a fucked up business. Politics, listen, I'm so sick of like I honestly, yeah. We need to listen. We got to vote for Vivek. At first, I didn't want to vote for him, and I actually still don't know if I do. So don't vote for Vivek yet. Let's see. Let's see where he's at. But vote for people who are actually good people. I mean, I don't even know how you do that. I really don't know how you do that. I mean, I know how you do it. You get these people who say they don't want to do it, and you fucking make them do it because then they'll actually do the right. The people who don't want to be in power are the people you fucking want. That's all I'm saying. Force the greatest guy you know and be like, you're running. You like we need you. Like, you know what I mean? Find like if you know somebody who actually has knowledge, like in business insight, and you know they're a good person and they agree with the same thing, help make them run for any position in the government. You know what I mean? Just we all know good people and be smart about it. Look into your voting for. I mean, there could be good candidates out there right now. I'm not saying everyone's terrible. I'm just saying when there's people who have more money than the average person and all they've really done is politics, you should be like, okay, that's kind of crazy. Where's the like politics is fucking a great way to make a lot of money. Um, but I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know why. It really shouldn't. Politics should be like a fucking volunteer thing almost. I mean, I know it. You know what? I mean, I don't know why it can't be. I don't know why it only benefits us. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know how it should work, but it definitely. I mean, it should work how it started, where it was like, one, we have too many people. We have too much regulation at the federal level. I like what that guy said. The guy who's saying Richmond north of Richmond. I mean, that guy is not a dumb guy. He's actually seems like an intelligent person if you listen to his Joe Rogan thing. But he's not a dumb guy. And like he was just saying, like state. I mean, I don't know. I really don't even know how it works. And he said that too. So, but I don't know. The federal government should worry about fucking foreign affairs. That's all the federal government should have no say in anything that's happening in the states. You know what I mean? They should only worry about federal shit because you do need that. I mean, like we would be fucked. We do need the fucking government, but I don't know. And the problem is if they only do the foreign shit. I mean, that's probably where they're making all their fucking money. It's sick that a fucking I'm gonna keep saying the word sick because this is it's literally just disgusting and so gross that you know we have a system where politicians can make deals with. I did I already say this before? I don't know, but it's sick that politicians can make deals with fucking governments and make millions off of like allowing certain shit that in their mind it's probably not that big a deal until fucking they've made the same deal with every fucking person, and then it is a huge fucking deal. I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyone in power right now, even the fucking Pope, the Pope is trying to be like, God, he's such a sick bastard. What a little fuck. Actually, I don't know if he's a bad guy, but I don't like him. He gives me bad vibes, but he's trying to be, and I don't like him because he's trying to be a good guy. And that's when someone's trying to be a good guy, but because like you hear these things like he like doesn't sit and like he just sits in like a regular chair and he lives in like a regular apartment, like he doesn't live in the thing. But okay, I mean, I guess I don't know. It's a sacred building. He could be a good guy, but I think he's definitely, listen, he's the last pope. He definitely is because he's. I mean, even if it's a good thing, he could be a good guy. I just don't trust anyone who is trying to do, who's trying to seem. You know what I mean? I think it's awesome that he did it. I mean, if like you know what I mean, to not indulge, if because that's what you should be doing if you're saying it. You should represent it. And he doesn't let people kiss his hand. And at first I thought that was weird, but then it was like he doesn't do it because he doesn't want to be on or anything. But I don't know. He just looks creepy, and I think that's why I don't like him. But I think all the popes have looked creepy. I think it's also weird to even want to be in that position. You know what I mean? And it's such a political thing to get there. I think that's why I don't trust him because like, why do you even want to be a pope? Like, I think the pope should be fucking. I mean, the same thing. It's like the pope should be 100% picked by the people. I don't know how it's not even done by that. You know what I mean? Isn't that weird? Like that the Pope is decided by other fucking. But maybe it's not. Maybe that's God's more of a. He's a club guy. You got to be in the club. But I don't know.
Hi, welcome to Weekday Follow Up. Let's get into our first story. New evidence shows monkeys are evolving to the point where they're able to make and use tools. This would be impressive if we didn't already give them the wrench. All right, guys, yeah, that's a monkey wrench joke. Try to keep up. The British Broadcasting Corporation is contemplating a name change after a recent poll showed that 75% of Americans associate the BBC with Big Black Cock. These polls also showed that the network's highest viewers were Latin women and Pete Buttigieg. And in tonight's final story, when asked what he would do to help Israel against Hamas attacks, Chris Christie replied, "Pita bread, oh Hamas, sorry, I haven't eaten in 30 minutes. When Senator Mitch McConnell was asked the same question, he responded with 5 minutes of silence paired with minor convulsions. His team stated that this was in response to those who have fallen in these attacks, while scientists say that this is actually a mating ritual for the Galapagos tortoise. Thank you. That's all I have for you tonight. Goodbye.
You know why the world is such a hard place to be in? Because like, no. Either way, it's really not that tricky. It's pretty fucking simple. It's only tricky because now it's hard. It's harder now because there's so much other shit. It's easier if the less shit you believe in. You know what I mean? Especially if it's good. If you believe good shit, and then I don't know. The less things you have, the less stress you have, and I think the less stress you have, the less worry. And then you can actually, and when you're not worried, you can actually think of solutions. I think like the problem is people are just mad and angry. I mean, people say the same shit. I mean, it's really not that true, but it is kind of true. Like people are just like mad and angry and just listening to themselves to a point where they're just scared, and they like don't even they probably they probably don't believe you know this is just it's crazy. And there's so much evidence in the United States that I mean, there's not evidence that I mean there could be. I really haven't done that much research, but there's been so many times in the United States where it's like group versus group, or you know what I mean, like and now there's like a million groups versus group. Like it's almost like individual versus individual now at this point. I mean, not. Yeah, that's kind of how the United States works now. I mean, it's just everyone's kind of greedy, and we've all adopted this. well, not all of us, but I'm in terms of like the media or like what is like what we represent as a culture is kind of like get ahead and don't worry who you fuck in between because like those are the type of people we idolize, like the most fucked up characters, like fucking The Sopranos in Breaking Bad are like the and like people are like, well, you don't idolize them for the thing, but people are like everyone's like, oh, they're the fucking baddest, they're like the coolest guys ever. Um, I don't know. It's just like American culture needs to fucking it needs a reset. We need a reset. That's what it really needs. It's just a quick little reset. There was so much good shit happening at a certain point, and then we just decided it was like if so much is bad but it still persists, let's fix it. Let's just clean slate everything. Get all these fucking bad people out of office. Let's stop making deals with China. It's not because there probably is nothing wrong with China, but if you want to, like, America is great because, listen, what would you rather have be the world superpower? I guess some people would say, is China communism? I don't know. Just go to China. I think everyone should just, if you want communism, go to China for a month. I think that should be a rule. You have to live in China for a month, and then you get to come back to the United States. And you know what I mean? I think that's what we need. Let's look at the ratio of people moving out of the country versus in. Like, let's see how many people want to live here from out of the world versus how many people who live here have actually left and stayed. You know what I mean? I think we should look at those statistics. I think that's actually really important because if more people are leaving and staying, maybe there is a problem. But if more people are coming into this country from places that you think have better governments versus us going there, then I think you might need to reevaluate your belief system. And that is actually true because if and there people, I mean, and then if you want to have a different argument, because I can see different arguments, but I'm going to give them to you. I'm not going to tell you why I think you could argue against me because I'll just fucking shut you down. But anyways, uh, yeah, it's that simple. Just go fucking move to China if it's so great. But I can promise you, it's probably not. And the other thing is, what would I mean? It's just like and listen, the Timu app that I was talking about. I don't know if I have talked about this, but I think I did talk about the Timu app. Number one in the App Store right now, for a free app. I don't like it, guys. I don't want the number one. I don't want all our fucking number one apps to be Chinese. All right, that because you know what I mean. And there's nothing wrong. Listen, when it's not listen, or there's nothing wrong with Chinese people. It's the government. I don't like their government. I don't like how they treat their people. I think Chinese people should come here, and I think they should. I think they should want this. I don't think they should want America to have any governments over them. I think America is too big already, and I don't think it should grow anymore. I think every empire, because at the end of the day, it's an empire. You're right, and every empire gets too big. The people on the top become too wealthy. People on the bottom become too poor, and eventually it topples over. And also, if you were at the top, it'd be better for you overall if you just stop for a second and just, you know, stop helping yourself and help the fucking just America as a whole, and then you'll be able to stay in power. You know what I mean? Like in 2009, they were doing bad shit, but people in America were, it was okay because we were still able to profit off of it in some ways. Like majority of Americans, you know, weren't I don't think many people were in debt at least. I don't really know how it works, but it just you hear people talk. It seems like a happier time, like around the mid '90s, late '90s, early 2000s. It seemed like a pretty great time actually. Internet was picking up, information was being able to spread. I don't know, it just seem, and then after 2009, to a certain degree, I mean, I don't agree with the war or anything like that, but it did bring people together more, and we had an identity, we refound an identity. Now, since then, I'd probably say since, well, Did I say 2009? I meant 9/11. 2001. But I'm 2009, I guess. I don't know. For some reason in my head, I'm saying that's when the decline started, so I'm going to say 2009. Even though I don't think it has really anything to do with Barack Obama or anything. I actually think, in some ways, people respect Obama, but I don't know. There was just something, or like, I don't know when it really started to fucking go downhill. I hope like gay marriage wasn't legalized in 2009, like 2009. I think it was though, and that's when it really went downhill. No, I'm just kidding. There's nothing wrong with gay marriage or anything, but I have no problem with it. You don't have a problem with people associating bad behavior, like people associating like I don't know, because I don't want to say this because I feel like it sounds bad, but I'm just going to say it and let people evaluate and figure out what I really mean by it. Because whatever I'm saying is not what I mean. It's going to sound bad. Please take the whatever I'm trying to say out of this because you know what I'm trying to say. I think people will like. I think because I don't want to say. Here's what it is. Because you allow a group actually to deserve, like the gay community who had actually fought and earned their right to, love each other, and it really had nothing to do with, the idea of gay marriage has nothing in my mind to do with LGBTQ or pride or anything. It's a separate issue that has to do with, you know, should these people have the same rights as everyone else? And I think yes, I think they should be. You know what? If you want an LGBT, but like, okay, but yeah, so that's its own issue, and it's respectable. It makes sense. Um, Even the idea of trans people wanting to be trans, it's your right. You have your own right to your body. Now, do I think it's really ethical? Do I think there should be things? Yeah, no, I don't personally. I don't think it's ethical because I think, especially if you're a child, I don't think there's enough learning. If your child's hurting that bad, I don't want to say. I don't know if I'd have to like meet a child. I've never met anyone too, so I really can't really have that much. But from what I know and have experienced, I've never really met anyone like that. A ton of people. Um, Actually, I knew one person, and to me, they just seemed mentally unhinged. Like well, I don't even know if they were trans, but they just shaved their hair completely off one day and called themselves a name. And personally, they didn't have a lot of friends, and I think they probably I don't know. I don't know if they had a lot of support. Is all I'm saying. And I think maybe it's a cry for help in some ways. That specific person too. Only that specific person. I never really understood this person, and so that's just my thought on that person. I've also met, or not met, but you see people who are trans who are really happy. And listen, it's a case by case thing, just like anything else. I mean, and I think in this case, I think anyone who wants to do it, it should be allowed. I think there should be an age limit on it, right? There's an age limit on drinking, and I think that's, you know what I mean. And you don't want your kid to drink because it can affect, even if they want to, even if a kid wanted to drink, you would say no. Or, there's certain things you would just say no to. And I think wanting to completely change your gender, come on, guys. I mean, if you're not gonna you better let your kid drink and smoke pot too, then, and do whatever the fuck they want, right? That's what I think. And you should introduce them to it too, because if you're gonna introduce trans idea, listen, I I don't know about, because I will say it's true that usually heterosexual relationships are shown to children at young ages. That's true. I'm not going to deny it. Um, and I think that's a discussion we can have where it's like, okay, we will eliminate all discussions of sexual orientation besides like health and shit. Fine. I think that's fair. I mean, I don't think it's epic. I mean, it's completely different because uh, majority of people in the United States, I would say, are heterosexual and non-transgender. I would say that. But listen, there's a discussion that can be made that let's uh, get rid of all talks, because it's just like, or let's introduce kids to everything. Let's introduce them to heroin and meth and everything else. Or okay, those are illegal, so let's not do those certain things. But I mean, I think we should give our kids the right to decide anything they want. If they want to break the law or not, too, I think that we should introduce them the ideas of breaking the law, so at least they have a choice if they break it or not, right? So that's important. But if not, fine. Just at least weed and alcohol, and if at least, and it's a state by state thing, so we should introduce them to that. And then honestly, if people want to kill themselves, I think we should allow that, right? Because I just think it's the right, it's humane. People are suffering. If you want to kill yourself, we kind of have to allow. And it's terrible. It is a terrible thing. Um, but if you think, especially kids, if there's a kid who is suicidal, and that's really what they want to do, they really want to kill themselves. They really think that's the right thing, or they want to kill someone else. Let's let people. Let's get rid of you know the boundaries and reality of space and time. um, and I'm sorry I'm equating it to that, but and maybe I think maybe killing others is similar, but I think killing yourself is because people are hurting and they're struggling, and if you would say that wanting to kill yourself is a mental thing or something like that, then I think it's fair to say that a child, at least a child, who is saying they are trans could be a mental dilemma of some sort, something in the mind that has nothing to do with reality, right? Because the schizophrenia exists, doesn't it? And they believe things that aren't true. And I'm not saying, I'm just saying, listen, if you believe something, let's believe it. And if you don't believe it, let's not believe it. But I don't know. I'm just saying what I'm saying. That's all I can say. I'm just saying what I'm saying. And I'm sorry I took it there, but it's just where it needs to go. Because where do you draw the line? I guess. Um, and the first person, I think I heard this, and this could be wrong. So misinformation. This could totally be misinformation. Look it up yourself. But I think the first official, or at least the guy who was like the big guy in trans procedures, the first person he did it on, and this could have been the first ever medical thing involving, but it could also but not be true. It was a person who was they botched a circumcision on a child, and because it was so bad, I guess, and it's so terrible to hear that um the child they said it would just be best to make the child a girl, right, and just transition as a baby. This is a child. This thing had literally no choice, and again, this. I mean, I think the story is true. I just don't know the date and the relevance of it, but the story is true. And the kid had no choice, at least from what I heard, and they ended up killing himself later in life. And I don't even know if it's related, but there are parallels. And I'm pretty sure the suicide rate of transgender people or people who want to be trans is higher than, and that could be wrong, than any other like demographic. Um, and people in the LGBT community in general uh, tend to have higher suicide rates. So, from my own perspective, my own seeing of what's happening and things like that, and most of the behaviors of people like this. And listen, I think almost every person in America now has something fucking wrong with their brain, or maybe they always have. Maybe people have always been insane. But I think we all have an issue, and I think this is an issue that. And listen, I don't. I also hate medicine, traditional medicine. So I don't even think if it is a mental problem that there should even be like a pill that you take. I believe in medicine, but like real fucking medicine that isn't made by a fucking chemical compound, or I mean everything's a chemical, but like not a human made. Like medicine is just like, I believe in some witch shit. You know what I mean? Like mixing some herbs and it'll heal you because like it probably is true. You know what I mean? Most medicine comes from like they all get this stuff naturally from the earth, and then they just take out certain things and compound the things they like, and that's all it really is. So, and then they might be taking out things you might need, right? That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know what time it is. I gotta go somewhere soon. But yeah, all right. I talked a lot. I'm gonna do a clip later, but I did. I'm gonna do something because I've been thinking about this a lot. I want to incorporate more into this. I want to make this something different. I don't want this to be like a normal podcast. I want to be something different. I want it to be like a variety show and a video, So this will be my building blocks. But so I had this idea. I was watching the Trump Tucker Carlson pre-interview of the debate. I talked about it before, but I just think I love Tucker Carlson. He's really unleashed himself. He's really become a character, unfucking hinge person. So I had a little skit of the Trump. It's real short, nothing crazy. But let me know, comment, like, whatever, if you like this thing to be more incorporated, more variety type shit. Maybe we'll have like hypnotists and stuff on here too. Once this is big enough to where I actually can do that. But that's what I want. I want to do like a real variety show, multi-cam type thing, and eventually I want to do it live. And oh yeah, in the beginning I was talking about this. I want to do a live thing where like I'm doing it live and you can only watch it then, and then I'll release it again in a year, like 1 year. I'll like have it scheduled on the YouTube thing. So whenever I do, I'll announce it whenever, because this is gonna change media, is gonna fix it. Because like now you can watch anything whenever you want, and no one's like you didn't have to like no one's brought together from the things we watch. If anything, we're divided. I want to create something that's gonna bring us all together, and part of that is like you have to watch it together at the same time and talk about it together. You know what I mean? Because like people will be talking about a show, and then like you're like, oh, I haven't watched it yet, and they'll watch it in a month, and you'll talk about it maybe, and then like, oh, I'm watching something else now. I didn't care about that. We're not talking about the same shit anymore. We're all talking about different shit. There's so many different issues and fucking things to talk about. Let's all talk about one thing. It's gonna be me. Let's all talk about me. All right. Yeah, I gotta go.
All right, guys, welcome back to another video reaction. I was trying to do this, trying not to laugh thing, but it wasn't really working, so I'm going to flare it up a little bit. But I'll put a clip of what I was doing earlier, but now back here, we are going to watch the same video, watch his dad struggles with meeting his daughter, but we're adding something to actually make it funny, because honestly, it wasn't very funny. It's funnier when you watch it with other people, because they're like shocked about like how, they're like, why would you show me this? But, we're going to get this started.
I thought it was Halloween.
And
I
I think that's a great place to end it. Guys, I'm probably still gonna post this, but oh my god, what was this? I mean, I don't know what I was trying to do here. It's bad. I don't know. It's stupid. I think it's just stupid. It's like, okay, who is this? Is this offensive to anybody? Probably, but it's really nothing. I didn't even laugh or smile one time at this. So that's really impressive, but yeah.
Give Jake money.